Hey guys, it's Mike with another Guild Guardians video. I cannot get into my account today, and I have read that other people are having this problem as well. I am able to get in on my phone, but I'm not able to get in on the PC through either emulator that I use. I use Moo and BlueStacks, and they both are kind of buggy, but today they're not letting me in at all. I've uninstalled them, reinstalled the game. Something about the update, I'm assuming, has gone wrong or awry for some folks, and so they're probably going to be working on fixing that shortly. I did want to touch base with you. There's a couple really cool things about the event that came to light last night when it launched. The first thing is, if you have been collecting calling crystals using your arena tokens, I highly recommend that might be a strategy moving forward, is picking up at basically utilizing all of your arena tokens to pick up calling crystals. They are guaranteeing that you get Jadey after 60 pulls. So if you pull your first 30, you're guaranteed a legendary, but if you don't happen to get her, the next 30 will give you her for sure. Which I think is a huge win, because otherwise you could be stocking those up, and they're not cheap. They're 500 arena tokens a piece. So it takes quite a bit to stack up, probably a month or so to earn about 30. But if you started collecting them and a really good character comes and you want them, if they continue to do the guaranteed at 60, I think that's going to be an awesome way to pick those characters up. So on the event itself, I've been playing around with a lot of different compositions, and one thing to keep in mind, and it's kind of fun, is every character you have on your account is an option to bring in. Now there are requirements as far as you have to have 3 rares, you have to have 5 epics and 2 legendaries. You also have to have a certain amount of Hydra, Cinder, Solace, and so forth. So you have to kind of pick your team wisely. But everybody starts from level 1 with no gear. You also are not able to upgrade your skills or engage your passive effects. So some of the characters that typically would do pretty well, such as a Dorizda, she's not going to have linear assault. So she's probably not a great choice. She's probably not a great choice anyway, because the further you are from the boss, the more damage she does to you. So melee attackers tend to be working pretty well. The composition I've been running is you get to utilize Jadey, which I think is also a huge win, is letting us use the character, get a feel for what she does and whether or not she's worth the investment. So that is pretty exciting. But I definitely use Jadey. And then I've been working with Tuskrog, and Grind has been doing a lot of work for me up front, taking some of the pressure off of a healer, especially on low health or low level. He's actually pretty functional, doesn't do a lot of damage. And then I've been using Qatari and Aquirus, and I've been using Tian Long on my main account because I'm spoiled. But he's probably not a great choice for this event because all of his damage is long range. You might start looking into a Palmera or a Loria. Some of those folks could be really beneficial as well. What I've been doing as a strategy is actually utilizing the 3 rares just to take care of the accommodations I need with the affinities, so that I can use the characters I want to use. And that's been a pretty big benefit. You might even look at maybe an Ashwin, or your assassins could come in pretty good in this space. But the way the event works is you actually make it to level 10 and you fight the boss for the first time. And every 10 levels, you'll fight a harder version of the boss. Every time you beat a boss, you can continue from that location. So when you do eventually die, you go back to the last boss you beat. Then from there, you can level your characters up, just going through the waves and getting experience. You also are going to be accumulating gear, and you can take gear on and off of people during the battle. So if all of your best players die, take your gear off, put it on your worst players. If you can continue on killing waves with secondary players, you're going to level them up and make them a little better. So if they have to step in later, they're going to be further along. On my main account, I personally didn't have a lot of success. I got to room 40, was unable to beat the 4th variation of the boss, so I could continue on room 31. I went through all 5 of my continues, and I think they reset every day, but I'm not entirely sure. I might just get the 5 and that's it. But once you restart, you can get all of your continues back, but you lose all the progress. So you lose all of your gear, you lose all of the level ups, all that stuff. So it is kind of a fun event because it's really like starting the game over to a certain extent, but be really cognizant of the abilities that people won't have due to their passives. Like even Aquirus doesn't have the added defense that you get from her passive. The linear assault with Durizda we talked about. So that's I've been having fun with the event, but I don't know how successful I'm going to be able to be at it just because I don't know I've found the right composition of characters. Assassins are still super squishy, but melee attacks definitely, they take on less damage the closer you are to the boss. That being said, you still have to get through all the waves. So distance damage could be beneficial there. Maybe you run distant damage through the waves, and then when you get to the boss, you take out that character and go back to full assassin or full warrior or whatever it is that you're running. But hopefully we have a few more days on the event, so that hopefully they can get through some of these issues and get the game working again. I did want to jump in the Token Trove and see what's going on with Jadey. There are already quite a few Jadeys in the game. So you've got the 114 warrior Jadeys. You have 75 standard Jadey level 5. On the elite side, you've got 37. And then here's some that have been starting to be upgraded. You even have some 21 champion Jadeys in the game. That seems really high. Like the percentage of getting champion is pretty low. So to have that many going on is pretty crazy. And then champion 15. Radiance 10. So this person has already gotten somebody super decked out, which is really impressive. I think she came available last night. She's only been available for just over 12 hours, 14 hours at this point. So they seem to be getting a lot more engagement than they did with the Tamamo event. But that is kind of crazy what's going on in there. But her value is about $50 out of the gate for a new Jadey. So I'd keep that in mind depending on how many resources you've got to purchase or move through in order to get your own. Although it seems like they're dropping a lot. There's 23 champions in the game already, and there are over 40 elites in the game, which is pretty insane. There's actually more warriors in the game than there are normal ones. So I don't know, something may be going weird with the drop rates right now, which might be part of the problem and why we can't get into the game on emulators and some phones. But that is pretty cool. I think that's what I got for you for now. If I can get into my game, I will do a video that actually highlights the gameplay and the event and kind of talk through some of the strategies I've been utilizing with images to go with it instead of just me trying to explain it. So hopefully you found this helpful. Hopefully they figure out what's going on so we can get back into our game for those of you that are stuck outside the game. But I do really appreciate you tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you next time.